Consider for a moment the nature of time. We often perceive it as linear past, present, future. But I tell you now, this is the greatest illusion. Time exists only in the eternal now. And it is in the now that you have the power to shape your reality. Your past, with all its joys and sorrows, triumphs and failures, exists only in your imagination. It has no power over you except that which you give it. The memories you replay, the emotions you rely, these are not fixed realities, but states of consciousness you choose to occupy. To truly move on and let go of your past, you must first understand that you are not a victim of your history, but the creator of your now. Every moment is a fresh opportunity to choose anew, to reimagine yourself and your world. The key to leaving your past in the past lies in your wonderful human imagination. It is not about forgetting or denying what has been, but about reinterpreting it in a way that serves your highest good. Imagine, if you will, your past as a grand play. You have been both the playwright and the lead actor. But now you realize you can rewrite the script. You can assign new meanings to old events, extract wisdom from challenges, and release yourself from the grip of outdated narratives. This process of revision is not about changing the facts of what occurred, but about changing your perception of those events. As you do this, you'll find that your present reality begins to shift. For your outer world is but a reflection of your inner states of consciousness. To move on is not to run from your past, but to stand firmly in your power as the operant power in your life. It is to declare, I am not bound by what was. I am free to create what will be. Let go of the need to justify your past actions or to seek closure from others. True closure comes from within. It comes from the realization that you are complete and whole in this moment, regardless of what came before. As you embark on this journey of letting go, you may encounter resistance. Old thought patterns and emotional habits may try to pull you back. But remember, these two are just states of consciousness. You have the power to step out of them at any moment. Treat these old states as you would an old garment that no longer fits. Observe them with detachment, thank them for the role they played, and then gently set them aside. You are not rejecting your past. You are simply choosing not to carry it with you in your life. The practice of letting go is not a one-time event, but a continuous choice. Each day, each moment, you have the opportunity to release what no longer serves you and to embrace the infinite possibilities of the now. As you do this, you'll find that your energy shifts, the weight of the past lifts, and you become more fully present in the now. This presence is the key to creating the life you desire. For in this now moment, you have access to all the power of creation. You are one with the divine creative force that shapes universes. As you align with this power, you'll find that moving forward becomes effortless. But remember, movement is not always physical. True movement happens in consciousness. You can be in the same physical space, surrounded by the same people, and yet be in an entirely new state of being. This is the essence of leaving your past in the past. It's not about changing your external circumstances, but about changing your inner world. As you do this, you'll find that your outer world naturally begins to reflect your new state of consciousness. Imagine for a moment that your desired state, one of freedom, joy, and limitless potential, is a frequency. To tune into this frequency, you must first release your attachment to lower frequencies of past regrets, resentments, and limitations. This release is not about suppression or denial. It's about transcendence. It's about rising above the old stories and limiting beliefs to embrace a higher truth about yourself and your life. As you practice this, you may find that memories of past events lose their emotional charge. They become neutral data, experiences that have contributed to your growth but no longer define you or limit your potential. This is the true meaning of forgiveness, not a pardoning of perceived wrongs, but a complete release of the past. It's a recognition that in the eternal now, there is nothing to forgive. There is only the choice of which state of consciousness to occupy. Now, some of you may be thinking, but what about the lessons of the past? Aren't they valuable? Indeed, they are. But I tell you this, the lesson is never in the event itself, but in the meaning you assign to it. As you shift your consciousness, you'll find that you can extract the wisdom from past experiences without remaining attached to the events themselves. This is the alchemy of consciousness, turning the lead of past difficulties into the gold of present wisdom. Remember, your aim is not to erase your past, but to transform your relationship with it, to see it not as a determinant of your future, but as the rich soil from which your new life can grow. As you practice leaving your past in the past, you may notice that your perception of time itself begins to shift. The past, present, future collapse into the eternal now, and in this now all things are possible. In this state of heightened awareness, you'll find that you no longer need to push against your past or struggle to move forward. Movement happens naturally as you align yourself with the state of consciousness that corresponds to your desires. Imagine that your life is a grand tapestry. Up until now, you've been focused on a few threads, the events and circumstances of your past. But as you step back, you begin to see the larger pattern. You realize that every thread, every experience has contributed to the beautiful whole. From this perspective, there is nothing to regret, nothing to fear, nothing to overcome. There is only the recognition of the perfection of the entire tapestry and the excitement of weaving new patterns into it. This shift in perspective is the key to true freedom. It's the realization that you are not bound by your past, but liberated by your ability to choose your focus in each moment. As you embrace this truth, you'll find that the energy once spent on reliving past events or worrying about future outcomes is now available for creating your desired reality in the present moment. This creative energy is the essence of life itself. It's the force that brings worlds into being, and it flows through you in every moment. As you release your attachment to the past, you open yourself fully to this creative flow. Imagine this energy as a river. In the past, it may have been dammed up by old beliefs, regrets, and resentments. But as you let go, the dam breaks and the full force of your creative power is released. This release may feel overwhelming at first. You may feel vulnerable, exposed. But I tell you this vulnerability is your greatest strength. It's the open door through which your new life enters. As you stand in this place of openness, of infinite potential, you may find yourself asking, who am I without my past? Without my old stories and identities? This, my dear friends, is the most exciting question of all. For in this moment of questioning, you stand at the threshold of infinite possibilities. You are free to choose anew, to define yourself not by what was, but by what you choose to be now. This is the essence of leaving your past in the past. It's not about reaching a destination, but about embracing a new way of being. It's about living from the state of the wish fulfilled rather than from the memory of what has been. As you practice this, you may find that your entire perception of reality begins to shift. What once seemed solid and unchangeable now appears fluid and responsive to your consciousness. You begin to see that every person, every circumstance in your life is a reflection of your state of being. As you change your state, your world changes with you. This realization brings with it a profound sense of responsibility. For if your world is a reflection of your consciousness, then the key to changing your world lies in changing yourself. But this responsibility is not a burden. It's the key to your freedom. For if you have the power to create your reality through your consciousness, then you are truly free to create any reality you desire. As you embrace this freedom, you may find that your desire to change or fix the past naturally falls away. For in the light of your new understanding, you see that there is nothing to fix, nothing to change. There is only the eternal now and the choice of which state to occupy. This doesn't mean that you forget your past or deny its influence. Rather, you choose to see it through new eyes. You see it as the perfect unfolding that has led you to this moment of awakening. From this perspective, every experience, every challenge, every perceived failure was a stepping stone, leading you to this realization of your true power. As you embrace this truth, you'll find that gratitude naturally arises. Gratitude not just for the good times, but for every experience that has shaped you. For you now see that it has all been in service of your awakening. This gratitude is a powerful force. It aligns you with the frequency of abundance and opens you to receive more of life's blessings. As you cultivate this attitude of gratitude, you'll find that your attachment to past grievances naturally dissolves. Remember, the goal is not to achieve a perfect state where you never think of the past. The goal is to reach a state where thoughts of the past no longer have the power to pull you out of your chosen state of consciousness. As you practice this, you may find that memories of the past begin to lose their emotional charge. They become like scenes from a movie. You can observe them without being drawn into them. This detachment is not cold or unfeeling. Rather, it's a higher form of engagement with life. It's the ability to be fully present with whatever arises without being consumed by it. As you master this art of conscious detachment, you'll find that you're able to engage more fully with life. For when you're no longer weighed down by the past, you're free to give your full attention and energy to the present moment. This presence is the key to creating the life you desire. For it's only in the present moment that you have the power to choose to create, to become. As you deepen into this practice, you may find that your sense of identity begins to shift. You no longer define yourself by your past experiences or accomplishments. Instead, you recognize yourself as the awareness in which all experiences arise. This shift in identity is profound. It's the realization that you are not your thoughts, your emotions, or your experiences. You are the consciousness that observes and experiences all of these. From this place of expanded awareness, you're able to choose consciously which thoughts to entertain, which emotions to cultivate, which states of being to occupy. This is the true meaning of free will. It's not the ability to control external circumstances, but the power to choose your internal state, regardless of circumstances. As you exercise this power, you'll find that your external world begins to shift to match your internal state. This is the law of assumption in action. What you assume to be true in your inner world becomes manifested in your outer world. But remember, this manifestation is not always instant or linear. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, your new assumptions take time to fully manifest in your reality. During this period of gestation, it's crucial to maintain your faith. Faith not in an external power, but in the truth of your own divine nature. Faith in the principle that your consciousness creates your reality. This faith is not blind belief. It's a knowing that comes from your own experience of the law in action. As you practice living from your desired state, you'll accumulate evidence of its effectiveness. Each small manifestation becomes a stepping stone to greater ones. Each synchronicity, each coincidence that aligns with your desires strengthens your faith and amplifies your creative power. As your faith grows, you'll find that letting go of the past becomes effortless. For why would you cling to old limiting stories when you're actively creating a new empowering reality? This is the beauty of living in the state of the wish fulfilled. When you're fully immersed in the consciousness of your desire achieved, there's no room for doubt, regret, or attachment to past limitations. In this state, you naturally release anything that doesn't align with your new self-concept. Old habits, relationships, and circumstances that no longer serve you will fall away effortlessly. This release is not about rejecting or fighting against what was. It's about aligning so completely with your new state that anything not in harmony with it naturally drops away. As you practice this, you may find that your entire approach to life shifts. Instead of trying to make things happen, you allow them to unfold naturally from your state of being. This is the difference between forcing and allowing, between struggle and ease. When you're aligned with your desired state, life flows effortlessly. Opportunities appear, doors open, and synchronicities abound. But remember, this ease doesn't mean inaction. It means inspired action, action that flows naturally from your state of being rather than from a place of lack or struggle. As you align more fully with your desired state, you may find that your goals themselves begin to shift. What once seemed important may fall away, replaced by deeper, more meaningful aspirations. This too is part of the process of leaving your past in the past. As you release old identity and limitations, you open yourself to new possibilities, new ways of being, one contributing to the world. You may discover passions and talents you never knew you had. You may feel called to pursue paths you never considered before. This is the natural result of aligning with your true self, free from the constraints of past conditioning. As you embrace these new aspects of yourself, you may feel a sense of rebirth, of starting anew, and in a very real sense you are. For each moment is an opportunity for rebirth, for choosing again who you want to be. This constant renewal is the essence of living in the eternal now. It's to recognize that your past does not determine your future unless you choose to carry it with you. So I invite you now to make a bold declaration. Declare to yourself and to the universe, I am free. I am not bound by my past. I choose in this moment who I am and who I will become. Feel the power of this declaration. Let it resonate in every cell of your being. For in this declaration, you are claiming your divine birthright as a creator of your reality. As you embark on this journey of leaving your past in the past, remember that you are not alone. The entire universe conspires to support you in your growth and evolution. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you encounter, is an opportunity to practice this new way of being, to choose again your state of consciousness, to reaffirm your commitment to living from the state of the wish fulfilled. And as you persist in this practice, you'll find that what once seemed difficult becomes effortless. What once triggered you no longer has any power over you. You become the master of your own consciousness, and therefore the master of your own destiny. This mastery is your true inheritance. It's the power that has been within you all along, waiting to be recognized and claimed. So claim it now. Step fully into your power as the creator of your reality. Let go of the past, not through force or struggle, but through the gentle yet powerful shift of your attention to the reality you choose to create. Remember, the past has no power over you except that which you give it. In each moment, you have the power to choose anew, to focus your attention on what you want to create rather than what has been. As you practice this, you may find that your entire perception of time shifts. Past, present, and future collapse into eternal now. And in this now, all things are possible. From this expanded perspective, you see that your past was never a limitation, but a preparation. Every experience, every challenge, every perceived failure was leading you to this moment of awakening. And now that you've awakened to your true power, what will you create? What reality will you choose to occupy? The choice is yours, and the power to manifest it lies within you. So go forth with confidence, with faith, with the unshakable knowing that you are the author of your own story. Write a new chapter unburdened by the past, filled with the infinite possibilities of the eternal now. For in this now you are free. In this now you are powerful. In this now, you are the creator of your own magnificent reality. Embrace this truth. Live from it. And watch as your world transforms to match the grandeur of your own divine imagination. I want to share with you the most profound secret about the power of your inner conversation. A secret so transformative that once understood and applied will completely revolutionize your entire world. For your inner conversation, the words you speak to yourself moment by moment, is the key to all creation. Now I tell you with absolute authority, the words you speak to yourself are not mere thoughts floating through your mind. They are the very substance of reality, the living, breathing essence of creation itself. For did not the scripture say, in the beginning was the word? And is not that word still creating, still speaking, still manifesting through your very own inner conversation? You see, most of you go through life allowing your inner conversation to flow unconsciously, never realizing that these very words are molding and shaping your entire world. But tonight, I will share with you specific words, specific inner conversations that, when properly understood and persistently maintained, must produce outer conditions that correspond to their nature. Consider this eternal principle. Every word you speak to yourself carries within it a seed that must, by divine law, bloom into outer experience. When you truly grasp this, you will understand why some manifest instantly, while others remain stuck in endless cycles of wanting and waiting. Your inner conversation is not preparing you for something to happen. It is the happening itself. It is not leading you to a state. It is the state. For consciousness is the only reality, and the words you speak to your states are creating states of consciousness that must objectify themselves in your world. Now, let me share with you something so profound about the power of your inner words that it will transform your entire understanding of creation. When you speak to yourself throughout your day, you are literally having a conversation with God. For are you not told that the kingdom of heaven is within you? And is not that kingdom the very consciousness from which all creation springs? Listen carefully now. When you say to yourself, I am, you are invoking the very name of God. For did not he say to Moses, I am that I am? Therefore, every time you declare I am, you are speaking from that same creative center, that same divine consciousness that created all worlds. Your inner conversation is not merely positive thinking or affirmation. It is the very activity of God within you. When you say to yourself, I am wealthy, I am loved, I am healthy, you are not trying to convince yourself of something. You are declaring what is already true in consciousness, which must by eternal law externalize itself in your world. Now here is something crucial that few will understand, but that your soul will recognize as absolute truth. The words you speak to yourself must be spoken from the consciousness of fulfillment, not from the consciousness of wanting or needing. For the consciousness of want can only create more want, while the consciousness of having creates the experience of having. Consider this. Every time you speak to yourself from the consciousness of lack, saying things like I need, I want, I hope, you are actually affirming the absence of your desire. But when you speak to yourself from the consciousness of fulfillment, saying I am, I have, I experience, you are creating from the same consciousness that said, let there be light. When you wake in the morning, your very first inner conversation must be, I am blessed beyond measure. Feel the truth of these words, for they are not hopes or wishes, but statements of eternal fact in consciousness. Your next words to yourself must be, everything I touch prospers and succeeds. Again, feel the natural ease of these words, for they are spoken from the consciousness of one who knows their desires are already fulfilled. Throughout your day, maintain this inner conversation. I am surrounded by infinite abundance. Let these words saturate your consciousness until they become as natural as breathing. For remember, your inner conversation is not preparing the way for abundance. It is abundance itself in spiritual form. Now, here is a profound truth about self-talk that few will understand, but that will transform your entire experience. When you speak to yourself, you must speak from the end. What do I mean by this? Your inner conversation must be from the consciousness of already being what you desire to be, already having what you desire to have. Instead of saying to yourself, I am trying to be successful, say with complete conviction, I am successful in all that I do. Instead of telling yourself, I hope to find love, declare with absolute certainty, I am deeply and completely loved. For your inner conversation creates the consciousness from which all your experiences spring. Consider this eternal principle. Every word you speak to yourself is a covenant with creation. When you say to yourself, I am powerful, you are not describing what you see in the mirror of the world. You are commanding what must appear in that mirror. For consciousness is the only reality, and your inner conversation is creating states of consciousness. For every moment is pregnant with infinite possibility, waiting to be shaped by the words you speak to yourself. Begin each hour with these powerful words, I am the master of my destiny, and my destiny is magnificent. Feel the authority in these words, for they are spoken from the consciousness of one who knows they are God in expression. Follow this with everything is working together for my highest good. Let these words sink deep into your consciousness until they become your natural assumption. Now, here is something crucial about your inner conversation that most will never grasp. When doubt appears, and it will appear, you must immediately counter it with these words. I remember when I used to doubt, but now I know my good is assured. Do you see what this does? It places doubt in the past and certainty in the present. Throughout your day, maintain this inner dialogue. I am divinely guided and protected in all that I do. Feel the peace these words bring, for they are not mere affirmations, they are acknowledgments of what is eternally true in consciousness. When faced with any challenge, immediately speak these words to yourself. This too is working out perfectly for me. For remember, the outer world is nothing more than a shadow of your inner conversation. Change the conversation and you must change the shadow. Here is another powerful inner conversation to maintain. I am naturally attracted to success, and success is naturally attracted to me. Speak these words until they become your natural assumption about life, for what you naturally assume must manifest in your world. When you look at your current circumstances, regardless of what they show, maintain this inner dialogue. My life is consistently transforming into something more beautiful. Feel the truth of these words, for they are spoken from the consciousness that is God himself. For money is nothing more than a symbol of consciousness externalized, and your inner conversation about wealth determines your entire financial experience. Speak these words to yourself with complete conviction. Wealth flows to me naturally and effortlessly. Feel the ease of these words, for they are spoken from the consciousness of one who knows that abundance is their natural state. Follow this with every day. In every way, I am growing more prosperous. Here is a profound truth about financial consciousness that few understand. Your inner conversation about money must never be from the position of needing or wanting. Instead, maintain this dialogue. I am grateful for my ever-increasing wealth. Notice how this places you in the consciousness of already having, not desiring to have. Throughout your day, whenever you handle money or think about finances, speak these words to yourself. I am a magnet for money. Everything I touch turns to gold. Let these words saturate your consciousness until they become your natural assumption about life. When you see others experiencing prosperity, immediately speak these words. Everyone's good is my good, and my good is increasing daily. This maintains the consciousness of abundance while eliminating any sense of competition or lack. Here is another powerful inner conversation for financial mastery. Money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways. Feel the excitement and anticipation in these words, for they open your consciousness to infinite channels of supply. Now, regarding your career and business endeavors, maintain this inner dialogue. My income is constantly increasing. Speak these words not as a hope or wish, but as a present fact in consciousness. For remember, your inner conversation is creating the consciousness from which all your experiences spring. Let me now share with you the specific inner conversations that will transform your relationships and attract the perfect divine love into your life. For love, like all things, is a state of consciousness made manifest through your inner dialogue. Speak these words to yourself with absolute knowing. I am surrounded by perfect, harmonious relationships. Feel the naturalness of these words, for they are spoken from the consciousness of one who knows that love is their divine right. Follow this with I attract only loving, authentic connections into my life. Here is a profound truth about love consciousness that most never grasp. Your inner conversation about relationships must be from the state of being loved, not seeking love. Maintain this dialogue. I am deeply and completely loved for exactly who I am. This creates the consciousness that must attract perfect love into your experience. Throughout your day, speak these words to yourself. Every person I encounter reflects back to me the love that I am. Feel how this transforms every interaction, for it places you in the consciousness of being love itself, not merely seeking it. When dealing with any relationship challenge, immediately declare to yourself, all my relationships are healing, harmonizing, and aligning with perfect love. For remember, your inner conversation is not describing what is, it is commanding what must be. Here's another powerful inner dialogue for relationship mastery. I naturally try and maintain beautiful, fulfilling relationships. Let these words become your natural assumption about life, for what you naturally assume must manifest. Regarding your self-worth and self-love, maintain this conversation. I am worthy of the highest and best in all areas of life. Speak these words not as an affirmation, but as an acknowledgement of what is eternally true in consciousness. For your body is nothing more than your consciousness made visible, and your inner dialogue about health determines your entire physical experience. Speak these words to yourself with absolute authority. I am vibrantly healthy and eternally youthful. Feel the vitality in these words, for they are spoken from the consciousness of one who knows that perfect health is their natural state. Follow this with every cell in my body is infused with divine life and energy. Here is a profound truth about health consciousness that few will comprehend. Your inner conversation about your body must be from the state of pumped health, not healing or recovery. Maintain this dialogue. My body naturally knows how to maintain perfect balance and harmony. This creates the consciousness that must express as radiant health. Throughout your day, whenever you think about your body, speak these words. I am grateful for my strong, healthy, beautiful body. Let these words sink deep into your consciousness until they become your natural assumption about your physical form. When faced with any physical challenge, immediately declare to yourself, I remember when I used to experience this condition, but now I know perfect health. Notice how this places any discord in the past while establishing perfect health in the present. Here is another powerful inner conversation for physical mastery. My body is a temple of divine life, expressing perfect health in every moment. Feel the truth of these words, for they are spoken from the consciousness that is God Himself. Regarding your energy and vitality, maintain this dialogue. I am filled with boundless energy and endless vitality. Speak these words not as a desire, but as a present fact in consciousness. For your mind is the workshop of God, and your inner dialogue shapes the very fabric of your consciousness. Speak these words to yourself with complete conviction. I am one with infinite intelligence and wisdom. Feel the power of these words, for they are spoken from the consciousness of one who knows they are expressing divine mind. Follow this with my understanding deepens and expands with each passing moment. Here's a profound truth about mental mastery that most will never grasp. Your inner conversation about your mental abilities must be from the state of complete knowing, not learning or striving. Maintain this dialogue. All wisdom and knowledge are already within me, unfolding naturally. This establishes the consciousness of divine intelligence expressing through you. Throughout your day, speak these words to yourself. My mind is clear, focused, and perfectly aligned with divine purpose. Let these words become your natural assumption about your mental state, for what you naturally assume must externalize. When faced with any mental challenge or decision, immediately declare, divine wisdom guides every thought and decision I make. Feel the certainty in these words, for they acknowledge the presence of infinite intelligence working through you. Here's another powerful inner dialogue for spiritual unfoldment. I am constantly expanding in consciousness and awareness. Speak these words until they become your natural state of being, for consciousness is the only reality. Regarding your spiritual growth, maintain this conversation. I am one with the infinite source of all being. Let these words saturate your consciousness until they become more real than any outer appearance. For all creation begins in consciousness, and your inner dialogue shapes the very essence of your creative power. Speak these words to yourself with absolute knowing. I am an infinite source of divine creativity. Feel the truth of these words, for they are spoken from the consciousness of one who knows they are God in expression. Follow this with every idea I need comes to me easily and effortlessly. Here's a profound truth about creative consciousness that few understand. Your inner conversation about creativity must be from the state of being a creator, not becoming one. Maintain this dialogue. I am naturally expressing my divine gifts in perfect ways. This establishes the consciousness from which all creative expression must flow. Throughout your day, speak these words. Everything I touch is transformed by divine creativity. Let these words sink deep into your consciousness until they become your natural assumption about your creative abilities. When facing any creative block, immediately declare, I remember when I used to experience blocks, but now ideas flow freely through me. Notice how this places all limitation in the past, while establishing unlimited creativity in the present. Here's another powerful inner conversation for creative mastery. I am a channel for divine inspiration and expression. Feel the power of these words, for they acknowledge your oneness with the creative force of the universe. Regarding your unique gifts and talents, maintain this dialogue. My creative expression blesses and uplifts everyone it touches. Speak these words not as a hope, but as a present fact in consciousness. Divine timing is always working in my favor. Feel the peace these words bring, for they are spoken from the consciousness of one who knows that all things unfold perfectly. Follow this with everything is happening at exactly the right moment. Here is a profound truth about time consciousness that most never grasp. Your inner conversation about time must be from the state of perfect alignment, not rushing or waiting. Maintain this dialogue. I am always in the right place at the right time. This creates the consciousness that must manifest as perfect timing in all things. Throughout your day, speak these words. Time is my friend and works for my good. Let these words become your natural assumption about the nature of time and its relationship to your desires. When faced with any sense of urgency or delay, immediately declare, divine order governs my entire life. Feel how these words shift your consciousness from anxiety to certainty, for they acknowledge the perfect working of universal law. Here's another powerful inner conversation for mastery over time. Everything is unfolding in divine perfect order. Speak these words until they become your natural state of consciousness, for what you naturally assume must externalize. Regarding your goals and manifestations, maintain this dialogue. My good is already prepared for me and must manifest at the perfect time. Let these words saturate your consciousness until they become more real than any appearance of delay. Now let me share with you the specific inner conversations that will transform your sense of purpose and destiny. For your purpose is not something to be found. It is something to be recognized through your inner law with the divine. Speak these words to yourself with absolute conviction. I am fulfilling my divine purpose with grace and ease. Feel the power of these words, for they are spoken from the consciousness of one who knows their destiny is assured. Follow this with every step I take leads me to greater expression of my divine purpose. Here is a profound truth about purpose consciousness that few will comprehend. Your inner conversation about your life's purpose must be from the state of already living it, not searching for it. Maintain this dialogue. I am divinely guided and inspired in all that I do. This establishes the consciousness from which your purpose naturally unfolds. Throughout your day, speak these words. My life is a perfect expression of divine purpose. Let these words become your natural assumption about your existence, for what you naturally assume must manifest. When doubt about your path appears, immediately declare, remember when I used to question my purpose, but now I walk in complete certainty. Notice how this places all uncertainty in the past while establishing perfect knowing in the present. Here's another powerful inner conversation for purpose mastery. Everything I do contributes to the greater good of all. Feel the truth of these words, for they acknowledge your role in the divine plan. Regarding your life's mission, maintain this dialogue. I am perfectly positioned to fulfill my highest calling. Speak these words not as a future possibility, but as a present fact in consciousness. Let me bring all these eternal principles to their ultimate culmination. For what I have shared with you tonight is not merely a collection of statements, but the very science of conscious creation. Remember, every single word you speak to yourself is either accepting or rejecting your good. Therefore, maintain this powerful inner conversation as your final divine declaration. I am the perfection of being, expressing in all ways. Let these words be your constant companion, for they acknowledge your true nature as God in expression. When you lay your head upon your pillow each night, Speak these final words to yourself. I sleep in the consciousness of divine fulfillment, knowing that as I sleep, all things are working together for my good. Feel the peace these words bring, for they establish the consciousness from which your dreams must spring forth into reality. And as you rise each morning, let your first inner conversation be, this is a divine day, and I live it from the consciousness of complete fulfillment. For remember, you are not working towards fulfillment, you are working from fulfillment. Now take all that I have shared with you tonight and make it your own. Let these inner conversations become as natural to you as breathing. For when you change your inner conversation, you change your world. Your words to yourself are not mere thoughts floating through consciousness. They are the very substance from which your reality is molded. Remember this eternal truth. The world is yourself pushed out. Therefore, watch your inner conversation with the same care with which an artist selects their colors. For you are painting the canvas of your life with every word you speak to yourself. I tell you with absolute authority, if you will maintain these inner conversations faithfully, your whole vast world must reshape itself in harmony with your words. For this is the law, and the law is absolute. Now go forth and practice what I have given you tonight. Speak these words to self daily and watch everything shift. For you are not calling forth something that does not exist. You are simply awakening to what eternally is. You are God's perfect creation, expressing in all ways, and your inner conversation is the tool through which you claim your divine inheritance. The end has been reached, for you now possess the key to all creation, your inner conversation. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, and watch your world transform before your very eyes. For this is the promise, and the promise is sure.
I want to reveal to you why these words hold such tremendous power and how you can use them to manifest everything you've ever desired. You see, most people spend their entire life searching outside themselves for power, for permission, for validation. They believe their desires must be achieved through hard work, struggle, and external forces. But I tell you this, all power resides within your own consciousness. When you declare, I am the power, you are acknowledging the fundamental truth of existence. You are recognizing that the force that moves the stars and grows the flowers is the same force that flows through your consciousness. Let me tell you something profound about these 4 words. When you speak them, you're not making a mere affirmation. You're declaring your true nature, your essential being. You're acknowledging the creative force within you. Consider this. Every great achievement in human history began with someone recognizing their inner power. They didn't wait for external permission. They didn't seek validation from others. They understood that all power flows from within. You see, most people have it backwards. They say, when I have this, then I will be powerful. But I tell you this, you must first assume your power, and then all things become possible. These 4 words, I am the power, are not just words to be spoken. They must be felt. They must be lived. They must become your dominant state of consciousness. Let me share with you what happens when you truly embody these words. The entire universe must reorganize itself to reflect your new self-concept. This is not metaphysics. This is law. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about what you want to manifest. But I tell you this, manifestation is not about getting something you don't have. It's about revealing what already exists within your consciousness. When you declare, I am the power, you're not creating power. You're acknowledging what has always been true. This recognition changes everything. Your entire world must shift to align with this declaration. You see, most people approach manifestation like beggars, hoping and wishing for their desires to be granted. But when you know I am the power, you approach life as a creator, knowing that what you decree must manifest. Let me share something profound about consciousness. Your consciousness is the only reality. Everything you see in your world is simply consciousness made visible. Therefore, when you declare I am the power, you're literally reshaping your entire universe. Think about this. Every morning when you wake up, you're either reinforcing your powerlessness or claiming your power. There's no neutral position. Every thought, every feeling, every assumption is either aligning with I am the power or denying it. You see, these 4 words are not just a positive affirmation. They are a recognition of the fundamental truth of your being. When you truly grasp this, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. Most of you have been taught to look for power in external circumstances, in money, in relationships, in social status. But I tell you this, all these things are merely effects. The cause lies in your consciousness. Consider what happens when you truly know, I am the power. You no longer beg, you no longer plead, you no longer hope. You simply decree, and by law, your decree must manifest. Let me share with you why these words are so transformative. When you declare, I am the power, you're shifting your entire self-concept. You're no longer seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances, but as the creator of circumstances. You see, most people spend their lives reacting to what they see. But when you know I am the power, you understand that what you see is simply your consciousness pushed out. Therefore, to change what you see, you must change your consciousness. Think about this. Every great achievement began with someone knowing they were the power. They didn't wait for conditions to change. They changed conditions by changing their consciousness. Let me share with you what happens in the depths of consciousness when you truly embody these 4 words. Your entire world begins to reorganize itself to match your new self-concept. You see, most people believe their circumstances dictate their state of being. But when you declare, I am the power, you reverse this process. Your state of being now dictates your circumstances. Consider this. Every moment of your life, you're either expressing power or expressing limitation. There is no middle ground. When you truly grasp these 4 words, you cease giving power to external conditions. Let me tell you something profound about manifestation. When you know I am the power, you stop asking how things will manifest. You understand that the power that knows the way will make the way. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about your problems, your limitations, your obstacles. But I tell you this, these are merely shadows cast by a consciousness that has forgotten I am the power. You see, when you truly embody these 4 words, you enter a new dimension of being. In this dimension, problems don't need to be solved. They simply dissolve in the light of your consciousness. Think about this. Everything you see in your world right now is the result of your previous concepts about yourself. Change the concept by knowing I am the power, and your world must change. Let me share with you the true meaning of these words. When you declare, I am the power, you're not making a positive statement. You're acknowledging your true identity. Most of you have been taught to look for causes outside yourself. But when you know I am the power, you understand that you are the only cause in your world. Consider this carefully. Every condition in your life right now is simply a shadow of your consciousness. When you truly know I am the power, you cease fighting shadows and start changing consciousness. Let me tell you about the transformative nature of these 4 words. When you declare I am the power, you're not just changing your thoughts. You're changing the very foundation of your reality. You see, most people live their entire lives believing they're victims of circumstances. But when you truly embody I am the power, you understand that circumstances are merely reflections of consciousness. Consider what happens when you wake up each morning knowing I'm the power. Suddenly, obstacles become opportunities. Problems become possibilities. Every challenge becomes a chance to demonstrate your creative power. Let me share something profound about these words. When you declare, I am the power, you're not making a future promise. You're claiming a present reality. This distinction changes everything. Most of you sit here thinking about what you want to create in your future. But I tell you this, there is no future creation. There's only present assumption. When you know I am the power, you understand that what you assume now must manifest. You see, these 4 words are not just a statement. They are a complete shift in consciousness. When you truly embody them, you cease looking outside yourself for anything. Think about this. Every time you say, I can't, or it's too difficult, you're denying these 4 words. You're giving your power away to external conditions. Let me tell you what happens when you consistently maintain this consciousness. Your entire world must reshape itself to reflect your new self-concept. Most of you have spent years accumulating evidence of your limitations. But when you know I am the power, you understand that all past evidence is irrelevant. Only your present assumption matters. Consider this. Every great achievement in your life began with a shift in consciousness. When you knew you could, you did. These 4 words simply make this knowing permanent. Let me share with you something profound about these 4 words that most will never understand. When you declare, I am the power, you're not just making a statement. You're activating the very force that created the universe. You see, most people spend their lives waiting for permission to be powerful. They wait for the right circumstances, the right credentials, the right moment. But I tell you this, the only permission you need is your own recognition that I am the power. Consider what happens in your world when you truly embody these words. Your relationships change because you no longer seek power from others. Your work transforms because you no longer depend on external validation. Your entire life shifts because you're operating from a new dimension of consciousness. Let me tell you about the subtle shift that occurs when you consistently maintain this state. You stop asking, when will my desire manifest? Because you understand that manifestation is not a future event. It's a present moment recognition. Most of you have been taught that power is something to be acquired. But when you declare I'm the power, you understand that power is your natural state. Everything else is learned powerlessness. You see, these 4 words challenge everything you've been taught about. Cause and effect. When you know I am the power, you understand that consciousness is the only cause and everything else is effect. Think about this. Every time you say I hope or I wish, you're denying these 4 words. You're placing power outside yourself in some future event or external circumstance. Let me share with you what happens when you maintain this consciousness consistently. Your entire world must rearrange itself to match your new self-concept. This is not theory, this is law. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about your past failures, your current limitations, your future obstacles. But I tell you this, all of these are merely shadows cast by a consciousness that has forgotten I am the power. Consider this. Every moment of your life, you're either expressing power or expressing limitation. There is no neutral ground. When you truly grasp these 4 words, you cease giving power to anything external. Let me reveal to you the deeper meaning behind these 4 words. When you declare I am the power, you're not making a casual statement. You're aligning yourself with the fundamental creative force of the universe. You see, most people live their entire lives believing that power lies in their actions, their resources, their connections. But I tell you this, all these are merely expressions of consciousness. When you know I am the power, your actions flow from this knowing. Consider what happens when you approach each day from this consciousness. You no longer wake up wondering what the day will bring. You wake up knowing that you bring to the day whatever you decree in consciousness. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs when you live from these 4 words. You stop seeking validation from others because you understand that all validation comes from within. You stop fighting circumstances because you know that circumstances are merely shadows. Most of you have spent years trying to change effects while leaving the cause untouched. But when you declare, I am the power, you go straight to the cause, your own consciousness.
You see, these 4 words contain within them the secret of all creation. When you truly embody them, you understand that everything in your world is simply your consciousness pushed out.
Think about this. Every time you blame external conditions for your state, you're denying these 4 words. You're giving away your creative power to shadows. Let me share with you what happens when this consciousness becomes natural to you. You stop asking, how will this happen? Because you understand that the power that knows the way will make the way. Most of you sit here thinking about what's possible and what's impossible. But I tell you this, possibility and impossibility exist only in consciousness. When you know I am the power, all things become possible. Consider this. Every limitation in your life right now exists only because you've accepted it in consciousness. When you truly embody these 4 words, all limitations dissolve. Let me share with you something profound about these 4 words that will forever change how you view manifestation. When you declare, I am the power, you're not just speaking words. You're awakening to your true identity. You see, most people spend their lives seeking power through achievement, through accumulation, through recognition. But I tell you this, all seeking ends when you realize that you are what you've been seeking. Consider what happens when you truly grasp these words. You stop looking for signs, you stop waiting for permission, you stop seeking approval, because when you know I am the power, what else could you possibly need? Let me tell you about the shift that occurs in your relationships when you embody these words. You no longer need others to complete you, to validate you, to empower you. You become complete within yourself, and paradoxically, this completeness attracts more fulfilling relationships. Most of you have been taught that power comes from doing. But when you declare, I'm the power, you understand that power comes from being. Your doing then flows naturally from your being. You see, these 4 words revolutionize your entire approach to manifestation. You stop trying to make things happen and start allowing them to unfold from your consciousness. Think about this. Every time you say, I'll try or I hope, you're actually denying your power. You're placing the fulfillment of your desires in some uncertain future. Let me share with you what happens. When you maintain this consciousness consistently, your entire world must reshape itself to reflect this new self-concept. This is not magic, this is law. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about what you need to do to manifest your desires. But I tell you this, manifestation is not about doing, it's about being. When you know I am the power, the doing takes care of itself. Consider this. Every great achievement in history began with someone knowing their power. They didn't wait for conditions to be perfect. They understood that conditions respond to consciousness, you see. Most people spend their lives in reaction mode, responding to circumstances, adapting to conditions. But I tell you this, when you know I am the power, you create circumstances, you determine conditions. Consider what happens when you approach each moment from this consciousness. You no longer see problems as obstacles, you see them as opportunities to demonstrate your creative power. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs in your financial world when you embody these words. Money ceases to be something you chase and becomes something you attract through your consciousness of abundance. Most of you have been programmed to believe that success requires struggle. But when you declare, I am the power, you understand that success is simply the natural expression of your consciousness. You see, these 4 words completely transform your relationship with time. When you truly know I am the power, you cease postponing your good to some future date. Think about this. Every time you say, when I have this, then I'll be powerful, you're denying your present power. You're placing your power in external conditions. Let me share with you what happens when this consciousness becomes your natural state. Your entire experience of reality shifts. What seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about your past failures, your present limitations, your future uncertainties. But I tell you this, all these are merely shadows cast by a consciousness that has forgotten its power. Consider this. Every moment of your life, you're either expressing power or expressing limitation. There's no middle ground. When you truly grasp these 4 words, you cease giving power to anything external. Let me share with you the final and most crucial understanding about these 4 words. When you declare, I am the power, you are making the ultimate declaration of independence from all external influences. You see, tonight marks a turning point in your life. From this moment forward, you will never again see yourself as powerless. You will never again give your power away to circumstances, to other people, or to past experiences. Consider this moment right now. As you sit here absorbing these words, you have a choice. You can continue living as you have been, seeing power as something outside yourself, or you can claim your true identity by knowing I am the power. Let me tell you what your world will look like when you fully embody these words. Everything that once seemed like an obstacle will become a stepping stone. Every challenge will become an opportunity to demonstrate your creative power. Most of you came here tonight seeking answers. But I tell you this, the only answer you need is already within you. It is the knowing, the absolute conviction that I am the power. You see, these 4 words are not just a technique or a method. They are a complete revolution in consciousness. When you truly embody them, your entire world must transform. Think about tomorrow morning when you wake up. Will you rise as the same person who came here tonight? Or will you rise knowing I am the power, ready to create your day consciously? Let me share with you this final truth. There's no power outside of you. There never was and there never will be. All power resides in consciousness, and you are that consciousness. From this moment forward, let every breath you take be a reminder that I am the power. Let every heartbeat affirm this truth. Let every step you take be from this consciousness. Remember, you are not becoming powerful. You are simply recognizing what has always been true. You are the power that creates worlds. You are the power that moves mountains. You are the power that transforms lives. Tonight, make this sacred commitment to yourself. Promise that you will never again deny your power. Promise that you will never again give your power away. Promise that you will live every moment from the consciousness that I am the power. For this promise lies your freedom. In this recognition lies your transformation. In this knowing lies everything you have ever desired. Go forth now, not as seekers, but as knowers, not as hopeful dreamers, but as conscious creators, not as victims of circumstances, but as masters. For when you know, truly know, I am the power, nothing in this world can stand against you. Nothing can deny you. Nothing can limit you. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your power. Now rise up and claim it. Rise up and live it. Rise up and be it. For you are the power. You have always been the power. And you will always be the power. Let this be your final understanding, your ultimate truth, your eternal knowing. I am the power. And so it is. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed friends, and seekers of truth, I stand before you today to impart a message of profound importance, a message that has the power to transform your life in ways you may have never imagined possible. The topic of our discourse is this: act as you can handle anything. Now I ask you to open your minds and hearts, for what I am about to share with you is not merely a collection of words, but a key to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within you. Let us begin by understanding a fundamental truth. Your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. Every circumstance, every event, every person you encounter in your daily life is but a mirror of your own consciousness. This may seem a bold claim, but I assure you it is the very foundation upon which the power of your imagination rests. When you act as if you can handle anything, you are not merely putting on a brave face or engaging in empty posturing. No, my dear friends, you are engaging in the most potent form of creation known to man. You are, in essence, commanding the very fabric of reality to conform to your will. I've said if you're gods, and all of you are children of the Most High, these are not mere poetic flourishes, but a profound statement of truth. You are, in your essence, a divine being imbued with the very power of creation. When you truly grasp this truth, when you feel it in the very marrow of your bones, you will understand that there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that you cannot handle. But how? You may ask, does one begin to act as if they can handle anything? The answer, my friends, lies in the power of your imagination. Your imagination is not some frivolous faculty, useful only for daydreaming or escaping reality. No, your imagination is the very workshop in which you forge your reality. When you face a challenge, when you encounter a situation that seems overwhelming, I urge you to close your eyes and enter the theater of your mind. See yourself handling the situation with ease and grace. Feel the confidence coursing through your veins. Hear the words of praise and admiration from those around you. Taste the sweet nectar of success. In short, live in your imagination as if you have already triumphed. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is the art of consciously using your imagination to impress upon your subconscious mind the reality you wish to experience. For you see, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is actually experienced in the physical world. When you consistently impress upon your subconscious mind the image of yourself as someone who can handle anything, you are literally reprogramming your entire being. You are changing the very essence of who you are at the deepest level. And as you change within, the outer world has no choice but to change in accordance. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, surely there are some things that are truly beyond our control. How can we act as if we can handle these things? To this I say, there's nothing outside of you. The entire universe exists within your consciousness. What you perceive as external circumstances are merely outpicturings of your own states of consciousness. When you truly internalize this truth, you will understand that by changing your inner state, by firmly establishing within yourself the conviction that you can handle anything, you are quite literally changing the universe. For the universe, its infinite wisdom, always conspires to bring about the conditions that match your inner state. Let me share with you a simple technique that you can use to cultivate this state of unshakable confidence. Before you go to sleep each night, enter into a state of relaxation. Allow your body to become completely at ease and your mind to become still. Then, in this receptive state, begin to imagine a scene that implies you have already become the person who can handle anything. Perhaps you see yourself confidently addressing a large audience or skillfully navigating a complex business negotiation. Maybe you picture yourself remaining calm and centered in the face of a personal crisis. The specific scene is not important. What matters is that it implies the fulfillment of your desire to be someone who can handle anything. As you imagine this scene, allow yourself to fully enter into it. Feel the emotions you would feel if this were actually happening. Experience the sensations in your body. Hear the sounds, smell the scents, taste the flavors. Make it as real and vivid as possible. Then, holding this image and these feelings, drift off to sleep. What you're doing in this exercise is impressing upon your subconscious mind that its most receptive state, the reality you wish to experience. Your subconscious mind, being the faithful servant that it is, will then go to work to bring about the conditions that match this inner image. Now, I want to address a common misconception. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, isn't this just self-deception? Aren't we fooling ourselves by pretending we can handle things that we actually can't? There's no pretending. There's no self-deception. There is only the recognition and acceptance of your true nature as a divine being. When you act as if you can handle anything, you are not putting on an act. You are stepping into your true identity. You are claiming your birthright as a child of God, as a being of infinite potential. This is not arrogance or hubris. This is the humble acceptance of the truth of your being. Consider the words of Jesus. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. This is not a promise of some future fulfillment. This is a statement of a present reality. When you truly believe, when you act from the conviction that you have already received what you desire, you align yourself with the creative power of the universe. This principle applies to every aspect of your life. Whether you're facing a challenging work situation, a difficult relationship, a health crisis, or any other perceived obstacle, the key is to act from the state of having already overcome it. Feel the relief, the joy, the confidence that comes from having handled the situation successfully. As you do this, you may find that the outer circumstances begin to shift in ways that seem miraculous. People may suddenly become more cooperative. Resources may appear as if out of nowhere. Solutions to problems may present themselves with surprising ease. This is not coincidence or luck. This is the natural result of aligning your inner state with the outcome you desire. But what about those times when, despite your best efforts, things seem to go wrong? What about those moments when you feel overwhelmed, when you doubt your ability to handle what life has thrown at you? In these moments, my dear friends, it is more important than ever to persist in your assumption. Remember, what you're experiencing in the outer world is merely the shadow of past thoughts and assumptions. It is the fruit of seeds planted in the past. But you have the power here and now to plant new seeds. You have the power to choose a new assumption, to step into a new state of being. In these challenging moments, return to your imagination. Step once again into that inner theater. See yourself moving through the challenge with ease and grace. Feel the strength and confidence flowing through you. No, with unshakable certainty that you can and will handle whatever comes your way. As you do this, you may find that the very nature of the challenge begins to change. What once seemed insurmountable may suddenly reveal itself as an opportunity for growth. What appeared as an obstacle may transform into a stepping stone. For when you change your perception, you change your reality. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how long will it take for my outer world to reflect this new inner state? To this I sigh. Time is an illusion of the physical world. In the realm of spirit, in the realm of your true being, there is only the eternal now. Your task is not to worry about when or how your desire will manifest. Your task is to live here and now in the state of its fulfillment. Act as if you can handle anything, not because you are waiting for this ability to manifest in the future, but because you recognize it as your true nature in this very moment. As you consistently maintain this state, you will find that your outer world begins to rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. The speed at which this occurs is not important. What matters is your unwavering faith, your persistent assumption of the state of being you desire. Let me share with you a powerful affirmation that you can use to reinforce this state. I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Repeat this to yourself throughout the day, especially in moments when you feel challenged or doubtful. Let these words sink deep into your consciousness, becoming the very foundation of your being. As you do this, you may find that your entire perception of life begins to shift. Challenges that once seemed daunting may now appear as exciting opportunities for growth. Situations that once caused fear may now fill you with a sense of eager anticipation. For when you truly know that you can handle anything, life becomes an adventure rather than a struggle. But remember, my dear friends, this is not about becoming invincible in the physical sense. It is not about never experiencing difficulties or setbacks. Rather, it is about cultivating an inner state of unshakable confidence and peace, regardless of outer circumstances. Think of it this way. Just as the depths of the ocean remain calm even when the surface is whipped into a frenzy by a storm, so too can your inner being remain serene and confident even amidst the turbulence of life. This inner calm, this unwavering certainty that you can handle anything, becomes your anchor in any storm. Now, let us delve deeper into the mechanics of how this transformation occurs. When you act as if you can handle anything, you are engaging in what I call the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume a certain state of being and persist in that assumption, it must become your reality. This is not wishful thinking or mere positive affirmation. This is a fundamental law of consciousness. Just as the law of gravity operates consistently in the physical world, so does the law of assumption operate consistently in the realm of consciousness. When you assume the state of being someone who can handle anything, you're literally reconfiguring your entire being. Your thoughts, your emotions, your very vibration shifts to align with this new state. And as you persist in this state, the outer world has no choice but to conform to this new inner reality. Consider for a moment the story of David and Goliath. On the surface, it appears to be a tale of an underdog triumphing against impossible odds. But viewed through the lens of the law of assumption, we see a different story. David did not see himself as an underdog. He assumed a state of victory before the battle even began. He acted as if he could handle anything. including a giant warrior who had struck fear into the hearts of seasoned soldiers. In your life, you will face many Goliaths. These may take the form of challenging circumstances, difficult people, or your own limiting beliefs. But remember, just as David did, you have the power to assume the state of victory before the battle even begins. You have the power to act as if you can handle anything. And in doing so, to transform the very nature of the challenges you face. But how? You may ask, does one maintain this state of assumption in the face of contrary evidence? How does one continue to act as if they can handle anything when the outer world seems to be crumbling around them? The answer lies in understanding the nature of reality itself. What you perceive as solid, immutable reality is in fact incredibly fluid and responsive to your consciousness. The world you see around you is not an objective, fixed entity. It is a reflection of your own states of consciousness, constantly shifting and changing in response to your inner worlds. When you truly grasp this truth, you will understand that the evidence of your senses is always secondary to the truth of your being. Your task is not to deny or fight against what your senses show you, but to persist in your assumption regardless of appearances. This requires a certain level of mental discipline, a willingness to stand firm in your conviction, even when the outer world seems to contradict it. But as you practice this, as you consistently choose to act from the state of being able to handle anything, you will find that your outer world begins to shift to match this inner state. Remember, the power that creates worlds resides within you. You are not a helpless victim of circumstances, but a divine creator shaping your reality with every thought, every feeling, every assumption. When you act as if you can handle anything, you are exercising this creative power in its highest form. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when discussing these principles. But never, what about other people? Surely we can't control their actions or attitudes. To this I say, there are no other people in the way you might think. What you perceive as separate individuals are, in fact, aspects of your own consciousness, playing roles in the grand drama of your life. This may seem like a radical idea, but consider for a moment. Have you ever noticed how people tend to treat you in accordance with how you expect to be treated? Have you ever observed how your relationships seem to reflect your own inner attitudes and beliefs? This is not coincidence. This is the law of assumption at work. When you truly embody the state of someone who can handle anything, you will find that the people in your life begin to reflect this back to you. Those who once seemed difficult or challenging may suddenly become supportive and cooperative. Those who once triggered feelings of inadequacy, you may now inspire feelings of confidence and capability. This is not because you have changed them, but because you have changed yourself. As you assume the state of being able to handle anything, you are literally recasting the roles of everyone in your life. You are rewriting the script of your life's drama from a place of empowerment and confidence. But remember, this is not about controlling or manipulating others. It is about recognizing your own divine nature and allowing it to express itself fully in every aspect of your life. As you do this, you will find that your relationships become more harmonious, your interactions more fulfilling, and your overall experience of life more joyful and empowering. Now, let us explore how this principle of acting as if you can handle anything applies to specific areas of your life. In your career, for instance, imagine how differently you would approach challenges if you truly believed you could handle anything that came your way. How would you carry yourself in meetings? How would you tackle difficult projects? How would you interact with colleagues and superiors? When you act from this state of unshakable confidence, you naturally command respect and admiration. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach may suddenly present themselves. Promotions and advancements may come with surprising ease. This is not because the outer circumstances have changed, but because you have changed. You have aligned yourself with a higher state of being, and the outer world has no choice but to reflect this back to you. In your personal relationships, acting as if you can handle anything can lead to profound transformations. Imagine approaching your partnerships from a place of complete self-assurance and inner peace. How would this change the dynamic? How would it affect the way you communicate, the way you give and receive love? When you no longer come from a place of neediness or fear, when you truly know that you can handle anything, your relationships naturally become more balanced and fulfilling. You attract partners who reflect your own inner strength and confidence. Conflicts that once seemed insurmountable now become opportunities for growth and deeper connection. In matters of health and well-being, the principle of acting as if you can handle anything is particularly powerful. Your body is incredibly responsive to your mental and emotional states. When you truly believe that you can handle any health challenge that comes your way, you create an inner environment that supports healing and vitality. This doesn't mean denying or ignoring health issues. Rather, it means approaching them from a place of empowerment rather than fear. It means trusting in your body's innate wisdom and ability to heal. It means knowing at the deepest level that you have the strength and resilience to overcome any health challenge. As you consistently maintain this state of inner confidence and trust, you may find that your physical health begins to improve in ways that seem miraculous. Chronic conditions may begin to alleviate. Your energy levels may increase. Your overall sense of well-being may soar. Again, this is not magic or wishful thinking. This is the natural result of aligning your inner state with the outcome you desire. Now, I want to address a common pitfall that many people encounter on this journey. It's the tendency to judge oneself harshly when things don't seem to be manifesting as quickly or easily as desired. Remember, my dear friends, judgment is a state that keeps you bound to the very conditions you wish to change. Instead of judging yourself or your progress, practice compassion and persistence. If you find yourself slipping back into old patterns of doubt or fear, gently guide your attention back to the state of knowing you can handle anything. This is not a battle or a struggle. It is a gentle, persistent realignment with your true nature. Think of it tuning a musical instrument. When a string goes out of tune, you don't berate the instrument or give up in frustration. You simply adjust the string, bring it back into harmony. In the same way, when you find yourself out of alignment with the state of being able to handle anything, simply readjust. Return to your imagination. Step once again into the feeling of unshakable confidence and capability. As you practice this, you will find that maintaining this state becomes easier and more natural. What once required conscious effort now becomes your default way of being. You begin to embody the truth of who you really are. A divine being of infinite potential, capable of handling anything and everything that life presents. Now let's explore how this principle can be applied to goals and aspirations. When you act as if you can handle anything, you naturally set bigger goals for yourself.